chest there. Just talk about obviously the little break you had, and you know, did that help with the health of your guys a little bit? Or?
It was good. I mean, it's good to be home. You know, I think when you have 13 days away from home, that's a long time. So just getting in this facility, you know, sleeping in your own bed, you know, getting rehab for guys who need rehab was all good, as well as trying to kind of figure out, you know, the best way to play, obviously, with this team, with all the adjustments and so on. So it was good to get home. We needed a break, gave them 2 days off, and then back at it. And practice has been good.
I know Amir and Dupree haven't been practicing, and you know, they obviously it was a tough game. After the game, they were a little banged up, but how they're doing health-wise?
Both day to day, you know. I mean, Dupree hasn't practiced at all, and Amir's day to day. I mean, it's you know, it is what it is. It's a difficult situation, you know. But whoever does play and whoever does practice, we got to make the best of it. So, you know, they're both banged up. You know, Dupree's been banged up for a while, you know, and they're showing great heart, and I appreciate that.
You used a smaller lineup versus Northwestern, and I think obviously the matchup was probably a little better than Iowa has a little bit more size. I mean, where's that moving forward with that lineup?
I think we'll try a little bit of everything, to be honest. I think that you got to, you know, you got to tinker and you got to see what works, what doesn't work. You know, so there was part of Northwestern that I liked, part I didn't like. Anytime you play a smaller lineup, you're going to give up something, you know. I mean, you may get something, but you're going to have to decide to give up something. You know, so I think it's game by game, you know what I mean? I think it's just being able to, that was the thing, is with practice, being able to get guys to run the offense at different positions. You know, because when we lost Reggie and Amir, I really had to scale it down because guys were playing different positions and they didn't have time to learn it. So I do think they're getting more comfortable playing multiple positions.
When you guys were 3-6 in the conference last year, were there signs that you were ready to maybe make a run? You know,
yeah, definitely. We were losing close games. You know, totally different situation. But there was no panic whatsoever last year. We were healthy. We were confident. You know, and we felt really good about where we were going. So, you know, I don't know if I felt like we were going to win 8 in a row, but felt really good about our team because I believe, and I don't remember specifically, but we lost to Maryland, and it was a close game. Michigan State was overtime. Wisconsin was a buzzer beater, whatever. So, you know, you look at how you're playing, and we felt really good about where we were going.
Is that something, though, that you can kind of...
Zero similarities between last year and this year. Zero.
Yeah. But do you remind the returners, at least, like, this is what you did last year?
Yeah, Eric did it. Amir did it. You know, it's a totally different team. It's you know, I'm not giving excuses, but it's a totally different situation. You know, you can't dismiss, you know, the injuries and so on. It's totally different. So my message to them is, you know, take it one day at a time and just empty that tank to the best of your ability. And we'll continue to do that.
We keep talking about, you know, you kept talking about being worn out in the second half. Is there anything, I mean, with the shortened bench and, you know, obviously if you play smaller, you try to play a little bit more up-tempo and with working offensively. How do you keep them, you know?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. That's something that I've got to just continue to tinker with and get comfortable with, use my timeouts wisely, pick our spots on the break, you know, be smart on the break, you know, because we're guys are playing a lot of minutes, you know, so that's something that I got to continue to try to figure out. And like I said, it's hard when guys aren't practicing, you know, but we got to make the best of the situation. We're going to do that.
Do you find yourself kind of having to play a little bit of a psychologist this season too, because the season hasn't gone the way you want? I think like with Amir kind of losing his cool a little bit, you have to kind of keep an eye on the body language.
Well, you know, I think that our guys have got to. There's a lot of reasons that you could justify why we would be losing. That shouldn't matter. You can't feed into that. You can't, you know, accept that. You know, these are all the excuses of why we're undermanned. And you just got to go fight. You know, you got to go scratch. You got to go claw. And I thought we did that versus Northwestern. I thought there was just a couple minutes, like you said. You know, and when you have the situations that we have, you got to be as close to perfect to winning this league.
Moving forward, with guys like Nate and I'm trying to see who's healthier. Nate, Jordan. Nate's playing for his senior year, but Jordan obviously, the kind of season he had early on, there was a lot of expectations on him. So I mean, those two guys are first team all Big Ten level caliber players. Is there more that you need to see from them? Because Nate's probably given you quite a bit already.
Well, I think that it's not fair to them, but in order for us, you look at since all that went down, our one win was Penn State, and I think Dupree, Murph, and Nate put up big numbers. So we're gonna have to get that, but that's not fair to the guys. My biggest thing is just it's let's play as good as we can possibly play, put ourselves in a position to win, and I thought versus Northwestern we did that. If you look back of the games in which we've been somewhat depleted, I mean Indiana we had a chance to win. Purdue just kicked our butt. Northwestern, I thought that we were just kind of feeling sorry for ourselves with all the obstacles and so on. Maryland, I thought that whole week was just tough on our guys. So we'll see after a week's break and kind of get rejuvenated and revitalized. But, it's not on one guy. It's on everybody to do their part.
I think you said that Jordan, maybe in the second half down the stretch, you needed to get to him a little bit more. Have you seen that sometimes where guys are trying to put pressure on themselves a little bit too much and jumpers? Or
I think that there's a lot of good when you put Jordan at his natural position when he's at the 4, but going small is not always just the lock answer. I think Jordan's comfortable at the 4. I think offensively, defensively, and the way that Northwestern plays that matchup zone, they kind of force you to make plays. It's a little bit different when you're going against a matchup zone. So I think more than anything, he's got to get touches. But, a lot goes into that, posting up deep as well as ball faking and rolling it in, doing the right things there as well.
Is there something specific you need to see from this team tomorrow night against Iowa for your team to have a chance to win?
One thing?
Yeah, well,
I would say score more points than them.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I think that let's go play our game. I think more than anything, it's let's go leave everything on the court. Everybody's got to be ready. And everybody's got to do everything possible, to just go all out and give it a shot. And we'll do that. I think our guys are fighting, and they'll continue to fight.
I think you gave an update on Eric Curry on the radio maybe yesterday. Is he in a position where, he's obviously progressed well. Is he in a position where if you didn't want to burn the red shirt, he could maybe even play?
That's not really the way it works. So unless they appeal to the NCAA and change the rule, because if he plays, he has to burn his red shirt.
No, I know that. I'm saying, but he's healthy enough where he could
Well,
play.
I said it on the radio in the sense of I'm not a doctor, so I don't pretend to be a doctor. But my guess would be if there was no eligibility things, etc. I think there could be. Now we're not even looking to push that. That's probably the eye test. That's probably me as a civilian acting like I'm a doctor, which is probably pretty stupid. But so I think I said that more than anything. Just watch him shoot around and do some things. But nobody's even remotely thinking of doing that. We leave that stuff up to the doctors and the trainers. So, but he looks. I think with the basketball injury or with an ACL, there are times depending on when you do it. But no, that's not even. We're not even thinking about that. That's not fair to Eric, and he's probably not even ready. I'm probably just speaking out of turn, to be honest.
I think in the NCAA meetings they did talk about possibly putting a rule in place where a guy can play a few games, and still get a red shirt.
I don't. Sure.
Yeah,
well, there is that,
right.
but
more. I guess more than a few, but I'm talking about like 6 or 5, 6, 7 games.
He's. If a doctor ever heard me speak, they'd be like, "Please be quiet."
Right.
Coach
But in a different scenario, even freshmen, maybe a guy that talking about a different situation, but
I don't know. Again, it's whenever there's injuries, you go to your doctors, your trainers, and they kind of tell you.
Right.
So again, if Ben Fells was sitting here right now, he'd be like, "What are you talking about?" And I know that. And I think with Eric, he's progressing along nicely. And let's get him back next year and healthy. because I had said from day one when he went down, that was a bigger deal than everybody probably imagines. And then obviously with what's happened now, it's proven to be a very big deal.
Right. And then, you know, with Amir being day to day, did his situation change any playing the last couple of games? I think on the dunk.
I think that dunk, he kind of, he definitely, I want to say re-injured it, but, you know, without knowing specifics of what exactly it is, you could tell that hurt him a little bit. You know, so again, it's we go day to day with all this stuff, with Dupree, with Amir, with all these guys. There's kind of, you know, a protocol of what you do, and, you know, you never want to rush guys back. You don't want to, you know, you want to make sure they're 100%. We'll continue to do that, see where it goes.
Couple more for
Goofy question here, as a on-site host, do the NFL, the Eagles give you a chance to take a sneak peek of what's going on next door or anything like that?
No, they did not. Not really sure I want to be honest with you. I just think they got it locked down pretty good, to be honest with you. You've got to have credentials and all those things, but I got other things on my plate than watching the Eagles practice. It is cool. I mean, having the Super Bowl here, you know, and everything like that. I think it brings obviously a lot of exposure to our state, to our university, to kind of show off what we're doing and everything. So it's cool.